Hey, it's your girl, your favorite paralegal, aka Cassandra Lynn, and welcome to Legal Doc Talk 24/7. Hope you guys are having an amazing Saturday. All right, so for all you TikTok users out there, it may be a possibility that you're going to have to find you another platform to get on because as soon as next month, it could be a ban to where no one in the US can utilize TikTok platform. So if you are a TikTok sensation and you make your earnings from TikTok, would suggest that you start finding another platform to get on because you don't want to wait till the last minute and you log on and you can't log on to TikTok. Well, I say you log on, you try to log on to TikTok and you can't get on. So there's other, hey, you better utilize Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever other platform is out there. I suggest that you try to do it. So yesterday, the federal appeals court um, ruled unanimously to uphold the law that could actually lead to the ban on TikTok in January. So what happened was TikTok ended up filing a lawsuit, or I believe earlier this year or sometime during the summer, and they ruled that, and the lower court ruled that TikTok would either have to sell their company to a US based company or pretty much ban it. Like it can't be used in the United States. TikTok didn't find that fair, so they took it to a higher court. And so the higher court obviously is the appeals court. And the appeals court upheld the law. Like either you sell your company to a US based company or it's going to be banned. So it could be a possibility that they'll appeal it and send it up to the Supreme Court for review. But whatever the case may be, it's not looking good for TikTok or the TikTok users. Um, and I'm just kind of reading an article. It says that a federal appeals court panel on Friday unanimously upheld a law that could lead to a ban on TikTok as soon as next month, handing a resounding defeat to the popular social media platform as it fights for its survival in the U.S. The U.S. Appeals Court for the District of Columbia denied TikTok's petition to overturn the law, which requires TikTok to break ties with the China based parent company ByteDance or be banned by mid January, and rebuffed the company's challenge of the statute, which it argued had ran afoul of the First Amendment. And it states that the First Amendment exists to protect free speech in the United States, says the court's opinion, which was written by Judge Douglas Ginsburg. Here, the government acted solely to protect that freedom from a foreign adversary nation and to limit the adversary's ability to gather data on people in the United States. TikTok and ByteDance, another plaintiff who is in a lawsuit, are expected to appeal to the Supreme Court, though it's unclear whether the court will take up the case. The Supreme Court has an established historical record of protecting Americans' right to free speech, and we expect they will do just that on this important constitutional issue. So y'all have to understand, and I'm going to kind of go over the background of TikTok, but is it a Chinese-based company? I'm just gonna say it's a foreign-based company because I don't know exact. Yes, so it's a China-based company. So you have to wonder that when we fill out information, like when we create our account, we put our birthday, we put our names. People use TikTok Shop, so you have access to the address. So all of that information is being obtained by a foreign country. So I understand, the United States position on this regarding you either need to sell it to a US based company so our information won't be going elsewhere, or you won't be allowed to, and guess where I don't know. I haven't looked at the statistics. I don't want to quote that. I haven't looked at the statistics to see, how many users are in the US compared to other countries. But let's go ahead and look at the opinion. that was given on Friday. Now, as I stated, I'm going to read a little bit of the background so y'all can get an idea of the platform TikTok. All right, so TikTok, the platform. So TikTok is a social media platform that lets user create, upload, and watch short video clips overlaid with text, voiceovers, and music. For each individual viewer, the platform creates a continuous sequence of videos based upon the user's behavior and several other factors, with the aim of keeping that user engaged. The TikTok platform has approximately 170 million monthly users in the United States and more than 1 billion users worldwide. What a TikTok user sees on the platform is determined by a recommendation engine, company content moderation decisions, and video promotion and filter decisions. The recommendation engine is an algorithm that displays videos based upon content, metadata, and user behavior. It identifies a pool of candidate videos for a user, then scores and ranks those videos using machine learning module designed to determine which videos would be most appealing to the user. The source code for the engine was originally developed by ByteDance, which is a company based in China that is the ultimate parent of TikTok. According to TikTok, the global TikTok team, which includes Chinese engineers, continually develops the recommendation engine and platform source code. As we explain in more detail below, the recommendation engine for the version of the platform that operates in the United States is deployed to a cloud environment ran by Oracle Corporation. Content moderation decisions involved a combination of machine and human actions. According to TikTok, every video on TikTok platforms goes through automated moderation, and if deemed potentially problematic is sent to a human moderator for review. TikTok's head of operations and trust and safety approves the community guidelines that drive content moderation on the platform. Video promotion, also called heating, and demotion, also called filtering, decisions are used to advance TikTok's commercial or other goals. The decisions involving promoting or limiting specific videos on the platform. According to TikTok, each video that is promoted is first reviewed by a human. Review teams are regionalized so that the videos promoted in the United States are reviewed by United States based reviewers. With respect to filtering, the platform follows a set of rules to filter out and disperse certain content. All right, so that kind of gives you an idea of the TikTok platform, how we're able to see certain things based off of our liking on TikTok in the United States. All right, so who are the petitioners? Who are the people who filed suit? So there's three group of petitioners challenged the act on constitutional grounds, which is ByteDance Ltd. And TikTok. Based Politics Inc. and the Self-Styled Creators, which is 8 individuals who use the TikTok platform. We refer to the latter two groups collectively as user petitioners. Where the corporate structure of ByteDance affects our analysis, we identify the relevant corporate entity by name. Otherwise, we refer generally to the constellation of ByteDance entities as TikTok. Because PRC control of the TikTok platform is central to this case, we provide the following overview of the relevant corporate relationships. So, ByteDance Ltd. is the ultimate parent company of TikTok, which is incorporated in the Cayman Islands. The government characterizes ByteDance as the headquarter in China, and ByteDance acknowledges that it has significant operations there. ByteDance provides more than a dozen products through various operating subsidiaries, including Douyin, which is the counterpart to TikTok in China. The company was founded by Yiming Zhang, a Chinese national, and Zhang retains 21% ownership of the company. So now we have TikTok Ltd, which is wholly owned subsidiary of ByteDance and is also incorporated abroad. TikTok Ltd operates the TikTok platform globally except for China. The government refers to TikTok entities that operate the platform outside the United States as TikTok Global and its US operations as TikTok US. Now, TikTok LDT wholly owns TikTok LLC, which in turn owns TikTok Incorporated, which is a California corporation that provides the TikTok platform to users in the United States. According to the TikTok declarant, TikTok's US application and global application are highly integrated. And the global TikTok application itself is highly integrated with ByteDance. Because the TikTok platform and the content are global, the teams working on the platform and the tools they use necessarily must be as well. According to TikTok, one of the ByteDance's rules is development of portions of the computer code that runs the TikTok platform. In the government's view, TikTok would try to comply if the PRC asked for specific actions to be taken to manipulate the content for the censorship, propaganda, and other malign purposes on TikTok US. Then we have TikTok US Data Security Inc., who is wholly owned as a subsidiary of TikTok Inc. and is incorporated in Delaware. TikTok created TTUSDS to limit ByteDance's access to the data of TikTok users in the United States and to monitor the security of the platform. So that makes sense. So remember when I say when you first sign up for TikTok, you put your name and you put your email address and all that information. And if you do the TikTok shop, all that information I assume was going to be accessible by anybody abroad, but they have a TikTok, what is this? TikTok Inc. that actually handles the security and the monitoring of the platform on the US side. So that's good to know. TikTok represents that TTUSDS employees are separated from the TikTok employees, and it is partnered with Oracle to migrate the US version of the TikTok platform into a cloud environment ran by Oracle. TikTok also represents that TTUSDS and Oracle review updates to the platform made by ByteDance non TTUSDS employees, and that Oracle has full access to TikTok's source code. According to TikTok, TTUSDS is also responsible for deploying the recommendation engine in the United States, and TTUSDS signs off on any decision to promote or demote content in the United States. So here are the national security concerns. As relevant here, the executive, which refers to the president, executive branch agencies, including intelligence agencies and thereof, first became concerned about the PRC's influence over TikTok in 2018 when ByteDance relaunched the platform in the United States following its acquisition to musical.ly. Now, remember 2018, this is when Trump was in office. Now, I did see where TikTok had two lawsuits against Trump, and I'm looking into those to see. I know it's in regards to this, but I want to see further, like what they actually filed suit on him for. In 2019, upon finding that foreign adversaries were exploiting vulnerabilities in information and communication technology and services, President Trump declared a national emergency. Okay, that's why they sued him. Securing the information and communications technology and services supply chain executive order number 13873. Okay, so that's where it says he declared the national emergency, and this is showing exactly why he declared a national emergency. Then it states that a year later, the commit or later that year, I'm sorry, the Committee on the Foreign Investment in the United States, which compromises the head of several executive branch agencies, sent a questionnaire to ByteDance about the national security concerns related to ByteDance acquisition of musical.ly. Thus began a lengthy investigatory process that culminated on August 1st, 2020, with the CFIUS concluding that TikTok cannot sufficiently mitigate its national security concerns and referring the transaction to the president. The president, acting on that referral, ordered ByteDance to divest any assets or property that enable or support ByteDance operation of the TikTok and the application of the United States. So pretty much what they're saying, if I'm not mistaken, is that he said you need to sell it to a U.S. company. You need to sell it because divest any assets or property that you so you if you're going to do business, if you want to do business in the United States, you need to actually sell this to a US based company. hmm So President Trump separately invoked his powers under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act and the National Emergencies Act to address the threat posed by one mobile application, in particular TikTok. And he has another executive order where he's actually addressing the threat posed by TikTok. Um, After that, it says President Trump prohibited certain transactions with BitDance or its subsidiaries. It state and the Secretary of Commerce later published a list of prohibited transactions. Litigation ensued, and the two courts enjoined the president's prohibitions under the IEEPA as exceeding his authority under that law. Oh, and they have that right here. This is what I seen: TikTok versus Trump, and then we got Maryland versus Trump. I didn't mean to highlight that, but that's okay. In 2021, President Biden withdrew President Trump's IEEPA executive order and issued a new one. In this order, the president identified the PRC as a foreign adversary that continues to threaten a national security, foreign policy, and the economy of the United States through its control of software applications used in the United States. And he put out an executive order. I need to look up these executive orders and go over them. Um, President Biden elaborated that software applications can provide foreign adversaries with vast swaths of information from users, and that is true. And that the PRC's access to large repositories of such data represents a significant risk. President Biden directed several executive agencies to provide risk mitigation options, and he asked for recommended executive and legislative actions. So that means you got the president's, the president, his cabinet, as well as the Senate and the House, um, putting in their recommendations to counter risk associated with connected software applications that are designed, developed, manufactured, or supplied by persons owned or controlled by or subject to the jurisdiction or direction of a foreign adversary. The following year, President Biden signed into law a bill prohibiting the use of TikTok on government devices. This this makes sense. Because I remember when I dropped my son off at school, when it was move-in day, they were telling us like they can use Instagram, they can use Facebook, but they could not have TikTok downloaded on their phones. And they can't use, and if they do, they can't use TikTok on the school Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's crazy. Litigation regarding President Trump divas the divestiture order pursuant to CFIUS referral began when TikTok filed suit in this court challenging the constitutionality of the order. The divested, hold on, let me see, because I'm butchering that. I know that means that they have to divest the company, meaning that they have to sell the company. Um, that's what I was saying earlier. Boo, 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 boo. All right, let's see. Divestiture. There we go. Divestis. Divestiture. All right. Um, and this is so the petition for review. So that is where, so remember when the lower court ruled that they have to either sell their company to a US based company or it is going to be banned in the US. They took it upon themselves to file an appeal on that. So they filed a petition for review to the appeals court, and this is where we are today. It states at the request of the parties in February 2021, this court placed that the case is abeyance while the new administration considered the matter and the parties negotiated over an alternative remedy that would sufficiently address the executive's national security concerns. During 2021 and 2022, TikTok submitted multiple drafts of its proposed national security agreement, and executive branch officials held numerous meetings to consider TikTok's submissions. According to TikTok, there were at least 14 meetings or calls, 9 written presentations by TikTok, and 15 email exchanges in which CFIUS posed questions related to TikTok's excuse me, operations and the NSA terms. A TikTok declarant describes the negotiations as protracted, detailed, and productive, and the government similarly characterizes them as significant and intensive. Also, part of the process, the executive branch negotiators engaged in extensive, in depth discussions with Oracle, the proposed trusted technology provider, whose responsibility under the proposed mitigation structure, including storing data in the United States, performing source code review, and ensuring safety of the operation of the TikTok platform in the United States. Okay. In August of 2022, the TikTok submitted its last proposal. Although the parties dispute certain details about how to interpret specific provisions, the broad contours of TikTok's proposed NSA are undisputed. 3 aspects of the proposal bear emphasis. Number one, first, the proposal purported to give TikTok operational independence from ByteDance by creating a new entity insulated from the influence of ByteDance named TTUSDS. The key management personnel of TTUSDS were to be subject to approval by the government. Second, the proposed NSA would create 3 tiers of data to limit the ability of ByteDance to access the data of TikTok's users in the United States. Protected data generally would encompass personal information about TikTok US users, such as their usernames, passwords, user created content, and other personally identifiable information, unless such data were classified as accepted data or public data. Sharing of protected data by ByteDance would be prohibited except pursuant to limit access protocols. Accepted data would include data that platforms users authorize to be shared with TikTok or its affiliates. That's why you have to be careful when you are completing something or you're signing up for something. I never give them permission to share my information with other, third parties or affiliates. So you have to be careful when you sign up for things that you're reading the fine print. Okay, because you could be one of those person if there was ever a breach, you would be affected by it. Um Let me reread that. So, accepted data would include data from the platform users authorized to be shared with the TikTok or its affiliates, certain defined data fields, and encrypted usernames, phone numbers, email addresses, etc., for routing to the United States. Public data would include data generally accessible to platform users, as well as any content a user decides to make public. Under the proposed NSA, TikTok could send accepted data and public data to ByteDance. Third, the proposal provided for a trusted third party oracle to inspect the source, including TikTok's recommendation engine. It also gave the government authority under certain circumstances to instruct TikTok to shut down the platform in the United States, which TikTok calls a kill switch. The executive determined the proposed NSA was insufficient for several reasons. Most fundamentally, certain data of the US users could still flow to China, and ByteDance would still be able to exert control over TikTok's operation in the United States. The executive also did not trust that ByteDance and TTUSDS would comply in good faith with the NSA, nor did the executive have sufficient visibility into the resources to monitor compliance. In the executive's view, divestment was the only solution that would adequately address its national security concerns. TikTok nevertheless voluntarily implemented some of its proposed mitigation measures. So that's the biggest thing, is national security. Our information being able to be shared to uh ByteDance, which is the parent company of TikTok, and other affiliates in other countries. And the executive branch is not having that, and I can understand why. We let alone in America, we have a lot of hackers and we have a lot of breaches, but this is a we're talking beyond our borders. So I see why they're putting this in place. It makes sense. So it's either you sell your company to a US based company, or we're going to shut it down. Period. All right, so let's rule on what they came up with. Yeah, this is 92 pages. Definitely not going through 92 pages. We're just going to skip to the conclusion that the federal court provided us with. Let me find it. Okay, so conclusion. We recognize that this decision has significant implications for TikTok and its users. Unless TikTok executes a qualified divestiture by 19 January 19th, 2025, or the president grants a 90-day extension based upon progress towards a qualified divestiture, sure, its platform will effectively be unavailable in the United States, at least for a time. Consequently, TikTok's millions of users will need to find alternative media of communication. The burden is attributable to PRC's hybrid commercial threat to U.S. national security, not to the U.S. government, which engaged with TikTok through a multi year process in an effort to find an alternative solution. The First Amendment exists to protect free speech in the United States. Here, the government acted solely to protect that freedom from a foreign adversary nation and to limit the adversary's ability to gather data on people in the United States. For these reasons, the petitions are denied. So, if you are on TikTok and you make your money from TikTok, I suggest that you start looking now for another platform. I don't think that they are going to sell their company to a US based company. I remember hearing about this story a couple of years ago, a few years ago, 2021, I believe, and they were not going to go through that process of giving their company away or trying to sell it. So just be on the lookout. Start finding other platforms to do your business on, earn your coins on, because come January, mid January, nobody will have access to TikTok if they do not find someone to buy it and operate under. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. Are you a TikTok user? Do you like TikTok? What do you think is going to happen here? Put it in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this video. Until then, y'all be blessed and I'm out. Bye.